Hello! So we're going to talk about another book before I go inside and get the baby her dinner, and then we go for a walk. So I'm going to talk about a book and maybe do another video or two after, and then we're going to go in. So we're going to keep it quick. We're going to keep it short, hopefully. You guys know how I am. But the book that we're going to talk about is one that I read like in high school. I think early high school. And it's called Haunted by Meg Cabot. It could be Cabot. I know she's very famous, and she wrote like the Princess Diaries. I haven't read the Princess Diaries. I don't know how to say her last name. I say Cabot, Cabo, whatever. It might be Cabot, Cabot, Carbot. I don't know. She's very talented, obviously. So this book was influential to me for a number of reasons. One of them was that I didn't know that it was a series. It's called the Mediator series, in case you're wondering, and this is not the first book in the series. I didn't include pictures of all the books in the series because while it's a fun series, it's very good, and I had, like, rewound, like, 2 years ago and started reading them until I got to this book, and I was scared that the audiobook was gonna like mar my the way I remember it because I read the physical copy and not the audiobook. So I haven't jumped back in because I adore this book. I love this book. I love this book. I read the other books. They're fun. They're cute. I love them. But not as much as I love Haunted. And it's because I like the character dynamics. I love the main character. She's so sassy. I love her stepbrothers. I love her love interest. I love the like antagonist who's also kind of a love interest. I know I shouldn't like that trope, but I do like that trope. I love that it's ghosts. I love that it's a little bit spooky, but she's like fashionable and sassy. It's cute. And also because I didn't know that it was a series, I thought that she was like, this author just kind of jumped in deep and pretended like you should know a little bit about the world before you actually like got full-fledged into it, and you had to figure it out while you were going. And I like that writing style. I like I yes, I like world building. I do like it. But I really like this. I like when I have to jump into books and I'm like, hey, what is going on? Because, like, the author assumes that you know things. And sometimes that's because I jump in like the middle of a series and I forget to check to see if it's a part of a series. Just grab the book. I'm like, oh, it looks great. Gotta read it. I I love that writing style though, because I like figuring out the world. I love figuring out the world while the characters are living in it, while they're not explaining it to me, while they're not like there's not a ton of exposition because the author assumes that you already know. And I'm jumping into it and I don't. I kind of write like that too. I've had to learn to go back a little bit and like give more context in edit, because I like to write where like you jump in and your full feet are like just in there with the characters who've been living in it. I love that kind of writing and I love to read it. So that's why I write it, is because I want the character to feel real, and characters feel real to me sometimes if they feel full-fledged enough that like you're stepping into their life in that moment, but it feels like they've been living in that life longer than that. I love that so much, and I got that from this book. That's part of the reason it was influential, and it was because I didn't know it was a series, so I thought she just wrote like that. So I was so impressed with like the bravado of like starting it out that way. Turns out she didn't start it out that way. She's got a whole series, and it's fine. It that doesn't make it less influential because it impressed me and I know that I like it. It made me reflect on what I like and what I want to read and how I want to read it. So, like, I don't, just because I was incorrect doesn't mean that I didn't, like, learn from it in, like, a life-altering kind of way. And by life-altering kind of way, I mean, knowing what I enjoy in writing and in reading, and the way that I like to write, and what I value, with, like, world building itself. So, like, that was influential for me. But I also loved this because I'm not a big romance person. I was when I was younger, when I was in, like, middle school, high school. If you noticed the trend with the stuff with the romance ish books that I've had in this list so far, it's been like, I've been like, oh yeah, this was something that I read in high school. This is something I read in middle school. And it's because, like, I stopped really enjoying that kind of thing, like, around the end of high school. But I did learn from those what I do really like, and I would like to like romance more. It's just a rough subject for me, has been for quite a few years, for quite a long time. But maybe someday I can get back into it. Maybe someday I can, like, find that niche again. But I learn what I think, like, from those experiences, from the romances that I did enjoy and did read, like this one, where it's not so, like, romancy that it's like, oh, they're in the rain and they're gonna kiss. It's not that kind of romance that I'm talking about. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of her being witty and fun, and having a rough time because she's got other stuff going on. And then having romantic interests who have their own lives, their own motivations, and lives is loose because one of them is dead. But but they have their own thing going on. They have their own stuff going on, but they still come back, and there's still, like, a lot of, like, deep connection, deep love, and they want to connect, but, like, you're seeing them connect while they have their own stuff going on. I love that because it feels more realistic, and also, like, I just not a big fan of, like, the overwhelming, all-consuming romance tropes. It just doesn't. I mean, maybe if somebody, maybe if it's, like, creepy, maybe, but, like, I wouldn't want that for me, obviously. But but fictionally, if it's creepy, maybe all-consuming, weird obsessiveness, maybe that. But, like, that's fiction. I was exploring these themes, like, with the other kinds of romance, like in this book where she's, like, dealing with a very nice romance, but the guy is having, where he's trying to figure some things out for himself, and she's trying to help him, and she's trying to weigh what is right versus what is wrong for her relationship with him. She's also got this guy who isn't good for her because he's the villain, but there's, like, romantic-ish tension, and which is, it's a manipulative ploy. He's not, I don't think he's actually interested. He could be. I don't think he's actually interested, but I think it's I don't know. I like the dynamics. It's a cheesy trope that I enjoy, and I enjoy it very much, especially in this book, and I enjoy the characters. It's a fun book. I think about it, especially when I'm thinking about, like craft. I think about this one a lot, but when I'm thinking about what kind of, like, romance book I want to read, which is very rare, but when I try to think of one, like, I do kind of refer back to this one occasionally because I like this, and I do like the series. Love this book way more than the rest of the series, but I do like the series. So if you want to check out an older YA, not like old, but, like, not current YA, I would check this one out.